This quirky little character you see here is the all-electric Renault Twizy. And while it's not actually on sale in Australia at the moment, it's been charging its way across Europe for the last couple of years. But we're out at a private test facility in Melbourne today to take you along for our first ever local drive of the micro-sized French EV. On sale in Europe since 2012, the Renault Twizy really is one of the teeniest little EVs getting around, sitting somewhere between a scooter and a car. And when we say small, we mean it. The little Twizy is actually shorter and narrower than a smart car. Unfortunately, due to there being no classification for quadricycles under the Australian design rules, Renault can't actually sell the car here. So exactly what is a Twizy and what's it got? Well, at the front, we've got these googly headlights here, this open suspension, and these hard plastic wheel guards. We've also got these very cool Lamborghini scissor doors, and at the rear, this big stop light, just to let you know what's going on. Oh yeah, and no windows. Inside, you've got your conventional steering wheel here, you've got your wipers, your indicators, you've also got some handy storage containers there. That one's lockable. There's also this, the 1+1 seating layout, which means that every drive with a friend, you can pretend you're Maverick and Goose, without obviously the ejector seat issues. Hiding under here is a 13 kilowatt, 57 Newton meter electric motor that gives the Spanish-built Twizy enough juice to hit 80 kilometers an hour. But enough of the facts and figures. The little guy's all charged up, which means we can get in and go for a drive. The thing you notice straight away driving around this little test facility, other than a cute little buzz, it's pretty quiet. Gets up to 55, 60 Ks pretty easily actually, which is nice and a little bit of a surprise, to be honest. Now the Renault Twizy takes about 3.5 hours to charge up fully. That gives you a range of about 80 kilometers, which is realistically more than enough to see you get out and about in the inner city and hopefully make your way back home. Inside there's no air conditioning, there's no power steering, but despite all that stuff, as you can see, it's a hoot to drive. It feels really fun. It's quite agile, and I think you would have a ball driving one of these around pretty regularly, provided of course there's not a lot of hills and it doesn't rain. But here to tell us a little bit more about the Twizy is Emily Ambrosi from Renault Australia. Jump in, Em.
Sounds good.
All buckled in?
Yep, buckled in, ready to go.
Well, thanks for jumping in.
No worries, Dave. Thanks for taking me on the ride.
For sure. Now, the Twizy proved really popular in Europe. Can you tell us why we can't actually buy one here?
At the moment, the Twizy is a quadricycle, and we currently don't have any Australian legislation that enables us to register a quadricycle.
That's a shame, because it's fun.
It is fun, and I can see that you're having some fun today.
And what do you see as the biggest hurdles facing EVs in Australia?
There's probably two hurdles that really face EVs. One of those is government support. So at the moment there's nothing in place in terms of subsidies for electric vehicles or concessions on registration that would support the introduction and rollout of electric vehicles widely in Australia. There also isn't a strong infrastructure for electric vehicles in Australia, and that's a bit of a challenge because if people buy them, they want to know that they can charge their vehicles when they go out and also make sure that they've got the support if anything happens.
And how long do you guys see before we could potentially make something like a Twizy or even other EVs more viable in Australia?
In terms of a timeline, Twizy's one that'll take a bit longer, but with other electric vehicles, we hope that in the coming years that support will be there and maybe the infrastructure as well that would support the rollout.
Well, thanks very much for coming along for us, and thanks for letting us have a drive of this today.
No worries, Dave. Thank you.
The Renault Twizy has been a lot of fun to drive today, and it is definitely an entertaining transport alternative that we would love to see on sale in Australia.